Okay, good. So just to catch up a little bit about what's been going on, maybe we can all share what we've been doing towards our C4C GTPBL experiment. And, you know, I'm finding that I'm gravitating towards the Miro board to work on that in my spare time. And after Wednesday's meetup with Newman and George, it was interesting because we had the breakout room, and the question was, where are we in this experiment? You know, how do we fit into this gimbal token PBL? So I thought of doing some sort of a visual on Miro board. And if you think about gimbals and the allocation 0 that we're talking about, these are the other groups that have gotten gimbals. And then we have our Cardano for Climate experiment. So this is just the way that I set it up. These links on here will take you to a document that'll show how these gimbals were allocated, because they didn't just drop out of the air, you know, from some, you know, inheritance. They were actually voted on, and whether the voting was good or not really doesn't matter. You know, it came through this system. We wanted to get it done, you know, and it became an average. So these, on this board, you can link to all these different things. And this one, Jukebox in particular, got given 859,000 gimbals. If you want to find out, you know, what they're doing with them, totally transparent. So there it is. And then James also sent us 100 ADA to cover transaction fees, which is super generous as far as I'm concerned. And this is something I didn't realize you could do, was you click on there and then you find, you know, gimbals in there on top of the ADA. So it's all transparent. And I'm thinking, you know, if we can continue to do this as well, you know, figure out how as a community we work on this transparency. So there's other information, links on here to the gimbal token PBL Miro board, these results in documents. Allocation was done by averaging a vote or a share. James didn't even want to call it a vote. We just were given each an equal amount, and then we just gave a percent to different groups. I had a very secret formula for allocating mine that's not so secret because it's in an open document, but you know, it was kind of fun to do this. So here we are. So that's what I, you know, thought to back up a little bit, because we're also going to have new people come into this experiment and go, what are we doing? Where are we? You know, it's open, right? At some point we might have to say, okay, decisions are being made by these people because they've been around the longest, and we're open to other suggestions. So the other thing that I've been playing around with on the Miro board is this click here for important links and information. So every time that we add something to the Miro board, we put it here. So even this new one that I did, visual on Miro board, where are we in the gimbal token PBL experiment? If you click on that link, it'll take you over to that frame, which is really cool in my mind. There it is. So I love this about Miro. So if you're working, this is what I imagine us doing, is we just take tools, we work on it. If your tools happen to be somewhere else, like GitHub or something like that, or on Discord or somewhere else, YouTube, just put them in here, and then we all have access to them. And then we have the ability as a community to take and make experiments within the experiment. That's what I hope we can do. So if somebody has an idea, Newman came up with the idea of a honor system fruit stand. That may not sit well with everybody else, Do you know what that is, Miro? An honor system fruit stand. So in Canada, at least not that long ago, and maybe there's still some on Vancouver Island, you can drive along and you'll see a fruit stand or a little stand, and it's got, and I'm sure this is worldwide, it's got, you know, fruit and produce, maybe some honey on there, and a little container that says, you know, drop your money in here and take what you need. So somebody doesn't have to be there. It is done on the honor system. And
we have it here, but we not on that name.
so it's a similar idea. So it comes from trusting people to take what they need and leave what they can. And that would be a beautiful system to me, where nobody has to control and rule and say, no, you can't do that. And then even if somebody comes along and cleans out this fruit stand, you know, 3 days in a row, it says, it tells me a message about this person, and maybe they need some help. Maybe there's something else that they don't understand. So that's one experiment within the experiment. So this is this was the first part that we filled out with our availability. Also, when to meet. I may have messed this up with the time, because it looks like it should have happened. The best time to meet for 4 of us is at 7 o'clock my time, which was an hour and a half ago. And for some reason, we're working on 3 p.m. UTC. So this, if you could fill this out with your availability, would be great. I think maybe we might have to redo this one so that we can get a meeting. I'm rambling, but I'm going to just go through this a little bit more. So group meetings and recordings, we can put them all here. So all the information is here, the date, the Zoom link, what we're doing, where, if we're using an agenda, where we're working on the Miro board, the recording, who showed up. And then there's also this opportunity to do work async. If you're going to add anything, you know, it can go over here. This is one side for group and one side for the other side. And then hopefully at some point or another, we can connect those up. I added this at some point in the last week about questions. Ask anything, answer anything. So this is just a board. We have questions. We can put that on here. This work here, it has to do with some coding that I'm working on to, let me just see if I can find that really quick. It is to, just a second, get this out of the way. Believe this is what it is. So we have a responsibility to the Gimbal Tokens group, to Gimbal Labs, because we're part of this experiment. And they have a website with these groups, and we are part of it. And then this is our information that we share with Gimbal Labs. And this is through GitLab, which Simon, I've done my first update. I actually updated all this, the title, and we can add links. I'm going to add some more links and stuff here to the documents or to the Miro board so that people know exactly what I found in Catalyst and Cardano in general is this difficulty in finding stuff and finding how to connect. So the more ways we can do that, I feel the easier, less stress we have. So there's this way to connect with Gimbal tokens, and there's this way in the directory, if possible, to keep all our stuff organized by using this stuff. So, thoughts? And this also another one, crazy idea space, anything goes here.
Can you send me the link, please?
Yes, absolutely. So this will give you, this one I think will get you to one of the widgets here, but it's the main link.
Yeah, so thanks for doing all of that. I think it's great. It's wonderful. Wonderful plus. Yeah. So I think now, I mean, I'm trying to, as you said, as you finished actually in the end, the challenge that there is in Catalyst is that where you find everything. So that's definitely a great to put it all together. I'm just trying to think now. Okay, so how can we start the experiment?
Yeah, we have to organize ourselves and deposit the
Yeah.
information in one place. I think we have that sorted out. We have
Yeah,
communication channels on Telegram, Discord. We have ways to connect. So I think it's okay, unless there's something else that we have to adjust. Yeah.
I think this is great. So now it's okay. So what we do? We have the tokens, right?
Now
we have the
we
organization.
experiment. Yes. Now
Yeah.
we figure out.
So now it's the fun.
What we
one
want to
element
do.
which is
Sorry.
one element which is very, very, very important in all of that is that now that we start the fun, after everything is organized, how do we record what we do from now on in terms of the experiment itself, and follow up to make a use case out of that.
Exactly.
Right? And
So
that's
hopefully this part right here, right? So this is what, this is our can you see that close enough? This is our experiment. We've been given gimbal tokens. We've been given 917,864 gimbal tokens and 100 ADA. Part of this experiment is going to be administering it, right? Admin. Community doesn't jump in and decide what they're going to do. Somebody has to have some sort of control. So that's the piece. That's going to be the record keeping for gimbal token, so that we present back this experiment to Gimbal Labs and say, this is what we've done. These are our records. This is the treasury. This is how it was allocated. This is what our experiment turned into. So there may be more links here. I'm not sure for admin. As a community, we have to decide on our values and our goals. Why are we doing this? What are we using gimbals for? And then this is how I saw it, was experiments within gimbal, the different possibilities of experiments. We can move them. Sorry, we can move them, we can add to them. Because I really believe that people should be able to run with their ideas in this.
Yeah, so yeah, so I think it could be nice to start a mini experiment, right? But I'm thinking how we bring the community into that now to start the mini experiment. So one idea that could be actually is to do also like instead of like a 4 week course to the community, right? And kind of the same like that happened with the gimbal. Actually, we can duplicate it, not the same process. I mean, definitely much lighter process, but to do it with the community, and in the end, actually allocate some of the gimbals we have to the people that came to this course, right? To do with that something. That can be one idea.
Okay, so can I ask you, Yoram, to?
Yes.
I'm sorry, it says crazy idea space. So maybe that isn't the right way to call it, but a crazy idea. Let's put those ideas and start here somewhere.
And
then maybe we can organize it some way.
Oh, I just read UBI, and I, giving One second.
Universal
For being a
basic.
member.
Universal basic income. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan for UBI, but maybe I think I wouldn't do it that way. Maybe we can, bring the community in by somehow incentivizing the other groups that we're working with, or that that are that we're connected with. Like,
Can I
So
can I start another screen for IDs? Or where do you want to put the IDs?
absolutely. So if you can do it in this idea space,
Where?
I'll share that link. Look, watch this. You can
I
go
have the link. I'm there. But where to put the IDs?
grab a sticky and just move it over here and make an idea out of it. Simon, you as well. So this is the one thing, like, not everybody's going to buy into our ideas. But some people will. Some people will get it. Some people will get the UBI idea. Some people will get the fruit stand idea. I think the main thing is to find out what we feel we want to pursue in this.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
exactly.
Does anyone know what the ins are on like what can the token be used for on Chimbalab's side?
So this is the other thing. This is the other big issue that I have, is because right now the value of Gimbal is unknown, and each group is going to determine their own value to it. Say, like 1 hour with James, for example, is worth 10,000 gimbals.
Yeah, actually, I think that is something that I would like to work with. Work on with the Cardano After Dark group. The idea from the beginning kind of was to work with Chimbalabs and get. Yeah, I know that Randall wanted to kind of create a consulting service from Chimbalabs. So I thought, and yeah, that is why I wanted to bring on Chimbalabs as consultants. And so I think this would be the perfect opportunity to find out what is the value of the token, because then we can kind of pay people from Chimbalabs with
So
Chimbal token.
that's
and we'll
one.
see.
It's one thing that's going to be determined. The only problem I see with that is it's not determined now, and we can't move forward until that gets determined. If we wait for a value to Gimbal, if we work on a system,
No, we need to start.
we need to start.
Yeah.
So if we work on a system of a virtual token, and when the value of Gimbal is determined on the outside, we can peg our virtual token to, maybe it's 1 to 1, maybe it's 1 to 10, maybe it's 1 to 100. I don't know what that is yet, but I know that I want to get started with something. So
Yeah,
so just a sec, Simon, I want to keep it separate from Gimbal at this point. It's like having a token that we don't know what the USD value of it is yet. Let's forget that connection at the moment and figure out what it is we want to do within our own community as a token experiment. Miro.
I think Simon or Yoram wants to say something, so I can tell after Yoram.
Sorry?
I think that you Yoram want to say something or not, or Simon, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I can say something about it. But yeah, no, but you raise your hand, so please, I give the respect to the person that raises his hand. I just come in.
No,
Thank you though, because that's a good way to help stop the rambling. It is good.
no problem.
Go ahead, Miro, though. You go ahead. Your turn.
My question is about Gimbal tokens. Can you Melanie, can you give me some power to share my screen?
Absolutely.
We can do
Just
I
a
mean,
sec
this is,
here.
this is ideal.
Multiple participants can share simultaneously. How's that?
Yes, that's it. Okay. So this is something that Andre prepared for Cardano for Climate. And maybe we can also use that for gimbal tokens. So this is a concept. It's connected to Cardano for Climate proposal. And yes, these amounts we can change. We can put here 50% for core hosts and 50% for attendees. So we can play with these numbers.
Mhm.
Actually, all this amount is divided, for 12 Wednesday meetings.
No,
Huh? Yes, Yoram, you want to say something?
no, I thought, okay, no, sorry, no, please continue. Sorry, I don't want
Incredible,
to cut you.
incredible work. Yes.
So this is the concept on weekly meeting, and this is concept for monthly events.
Mhm.
It's also based like weekly meetings. So my question is for you guys. Can we add here also gimbal tokens, for example?
We can.
If we can add here gimbal tokens for attendees, for co-hosts, for, I don't know, people who take notes and so on, problem is solved,
See,
We
so
don't
this is a type of record keeping, isn't it? If aside from funding, pretend we didn't get any ADA funding, we had nothing. But if we just did this work anyways,
Yes,
some
exactly.
sort of token can show what we've done in our wallet. I don't want people to hoard this so that it's, goes to the moon and we can all retire. That's not the idea.
No,
But that
it's not
if this token is in a wallet, or you see the transactions of it coming into a wallet, you know that this person has been around, they're involved, they have a form of reputation because of these transactions into their wallet or something. Not because they have 10 million of these tokens, but because they've actually had it coming into them. Whether it goes out or not, that's not important. Does that make sense, first
Yeah.
off? Okay, so that shows
Yeah, so
something.
first,
It shows that a person is contributing to the community. It shows involvement. It shows they're also getting rewarded for it. The problem I have with connecting it to a certain number of gimbals at this point is saying that, okay, hosting a meeting, let's randomly say this is worth 10 gimbals. Now, Bridge Builders comes along and says that they're going to determine hosting a meeting or having a breakout room is worth 3,000 gimbals. So there's a discrepancy unless there was a central control over the value of a gimbal. How can we connect what we do with what another group does at this point? If we have our own virtual token based on our own values, whether it's time, a task, a contribution, whatever.
Yeah, depends how much gimbal tokens we have.
We've got
So,
900,000. Yes.
It's actually like here we have our proposal. I would say our proposal, Cardano for Climate proposal.
It's our proposal. Yes.
Yes, it's worth 2,000. Oh wait, what happened now? It's worth $2,584 US.
Yes.
But this is the worth of proposal. So it's the same with gimbal tokens. So we have one amount that comes in our wallet, and we will do the math. Everything is a math,
It is, and it isn't. So what's the difference here too is that we have an open community. So if you look at the way I'm going to just share my screen for a second to the allocations, and these were random. Like these were super random allocations, relatively random. People had ideas about how they go. So Cardano for Climate got 900,000. Tokenomics got, you know, more. We have Catalyst proposal facilitation got 700. There was technical group got 2 million. Is that right? Yeah. So, you know, there's different amounts. And so, you know, an hour in the tech group might end up being worth 5,000 ADA. We have a bigger community of people and us, you know, 900,000 gimbals. We don't know how long this will last us, right? So divvying it up, what I see is if we can figure out a way to incentivize our community to participate and contribute outside of gimbals. And then if they need gimbals, they come along and say, I have this many of my community tokens. I need to have a breakout room at Swarm and it's worth this many gimbals. Can I trade what I have for this many gimbals? If we work on an internal token, we can get to work now. If we wait for the value of the gimbal to be determined or base it on what we have divided by the time we have, and that's how much we have, it's a good system. So I'm not knocking it.
No, in my
Yeah,
perspective,
so Miro,
it's very
yeah,
easy.
so
Mhm.
I think, I think it's a great what you did. And I think it could be a very good, simple way to start. I mean, if the question is how fast we want to start the experiment. And if you want to start, I think it can be very interesting actually to use your table. I will separate actually the table for the people that are coming, for the visitors. I mean, that can be an experiment that we can start fast and test it if you want to test it, but we need to discuss it. Is for the people that are visiting the meeting, we can give them gimbal, and we need to decide how much. Let's say we have 900,000. We can say that in the next 3 months, I'm just imagining now, we want 10% out of it to enumerate people coming to the meetings, right? Just an idea. So we have 90,000 that we want to enumerate in the next 3 months, people coming for the meeting, assuming 20 people coming per meeting, you know, so how much divided, you know, 12 meetings. And then we come with kind of a number that we can give potentially for people visiting the meeting. And we can say it's 5% even, or we can even just try it for a month with 1% of the gimbal, right? And then see what's happened, whatever we decide. Bonjour. So I like it a lot, and I think it can be an experiment. And this will, exactly what Melanie said, will enumerate people that are actually, how we encourage the community to come and participate. So they come and participate and they get gimbals. And, you know, and now we don't know, but I think very fast we will know what's going on around us. And very fast, I think, okay, it will start, some will use like this, some will use like this, but it will get into a balance. I assume, take few months, 3 months probably, there will be some kind of balance between the communities. That's my assumption. But definitely we need to start by ourselves to say, okay, this is what we have today. Our goal, right? We need to see our goal. Our goal is how we can create an inclusive and engaging community, or part of our goal. So definitely we need to engage people that are coming to the meetings, for example, right?
So before we get into the details, can we go back to the why we're doing this, you know?
Yeah, the goal, definitely.
Yeah, this is where I believe we need to begin. And as I showed you on the board, there's a place for these mini experiments. And that would be one of them right here, to put in the accounting of the gimbals divided by the time X number get given to so much.
Yeah.
If we have multiple experiments though, we need to share the gimbals amongst those experiments. And maybe we do
Yeah.
what Gimbal Labs did. If there's 2 people in a group, it deserves to have gimbals, and we just divide them up evenly and work with those and see how they go. Because
Yeah, but for now,
so
yeah.
I know myself that I have to follow my heart into this fruit stand idea with a virtual token. I know that I need to go that way. And I feel like, oh, I can't do that accounting way. I don't want to stop that accounting way from happening, because then I'm forcing somebody to do what I want to do. Does that
Yeah, we
make
can
sense?
decide through experiment. I mean, yeah, first of all, I mean, we are not alone, right? I mean, but we can decide several experiments. And
So that's
then there is several
that's the
experiments.
idea. That's the idea behind this crazy ideas. Okay, and then put it in this space to begin with. Explain it. And then each time we get together, we'll have an opportunity to share what we're thinking about it, or we break up into little groups different times and say, this is what I'm thinking with this. Let's work with this and run with this.
Yeah, I understand, but the question is how we move from the mirror to start now the experiment, right? And either, I mean, it can be a process, like we can design a process like we had at Gimbal Labs, but say, okay, let's have a 4-week process with the community. And in the end of that, say exactly what you said. There will be whoever wants to join, let's say 20 people will join the process, or 15 people. And we'll do 4 weeks process. And in the end, there will be 3 or 4 experiments.
Okay, so that's
And it needs to,
a timeline that we need to be talking about, right? Timeline. So that's a part of it. 4 weeks
Agree.
seems to be coming up. 4 weeks.
Just an idea again.
Okay, so
think
4
makes sense.
weeks. So this gives us deadlines, and it's like, come up with the idea. We're still going away from our goal. We're still going away from the overall goal that we need to come up with the whole group. But let's go back to that afterwards. So 1 week, which feels very fast, but that's okay. It gets it done. Experiments determined. In the first week. That sound
Yes.
right?
Can I would give it before that? I'm just there with you. I think before that I will do, so we present in the new next core meeting. We present the ID of who wants to join. And we can present Gimbal Labs and Cardano for Climate tokens. Not in the next core one, sorry. In the next Cardano for Climate meeting, not in the core one.
So Yoram, please do me a favor and remember to add this.
Yeah, I'm writing it now here.
Okay,
so.
because I can't do that. This is what stresses me out. Yeah.
We are together. But timeline, so we say. I'm just a suggested timeline. Okay. We start next. Again, it's just a suggested. I'm just trying to put it into kind of practice. So.
And
next,
sorry, Yoram, I'm just going to say Simon and Miro have their hands up. If you've got something to write down or a question to ask or a thought, put it here. You know, if you've got these burning questions or something, or you want to add an idea, let's let Yoram talk about this idea.
Yeah, or speak out. We are 4 people here. Let's kick each other. Let's speak out. I mean,
no,
that's
but
my
see,
view. But anyway.
If you have an idea or thoughts on this, put a sticky on there and put a question, or, you know, if it's related to this, if it's your own idea, put your own sticky on there and get it down, you know, so that we can explore it. And then when we have time, we go, okay, what does this mean? And let's ask more questions about it. So, okay, sorry, Yoram, go ahead and you can talk.
No, I don't know if they want to say something relevant for that. I'm happy to hear. I mean, but I'm starting to write it, but happy to hear you guys. Please, Simon or Miro.
Yeah, I feel like we're jumping around a little bit. So I think Melanie had a good thought with, you know, going for the goals first. And for that, I would want to say, well, the goal for Cardano for Climate is well, we have a goal, so maybe we go with that. And I think the goal is making Cardano more sustainable. So how?
That's not the goal, I think, but yeah. No, sorry. Sorry, I cut you. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it is a goal, but yeah, that is
Yeah,
really
it could
all
be a
I
goal.
wanted to say.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Please. I just want to.
Apologies, I had to just take away for a second. So Simon, goals. It's important to deal with those. Let's start a space on here. I believe we had started one, and that might have been this. We
But
can
what
do
I'm
it.
saying that we wrote the goals, right?
No, we
Oh,
didn't.
we
the
have to.
goals.
We have a lot of goals there,
We
I
had
see.
one meeting that had
Okay.
a few people suggesting, which didn't really mean a community goal. So
Okay.
start another tool specifically on goals and put your idea down there. And then we come to some sort of a consensus, some sort of an idea. Because what you think is a goal isn't the same as mine. I have a different agenda no matter what.
Okay, so let's discuss that. I mean, let's have because finally we need to get into some kind of action plan, right? I mean, we cannot keep on developing and writing. So the meeting can be, let's have a next meeting, discuss the goals, or finalize a goal or several goals. I mean, the goal can evolve always.
The thing, but we should work towards a certain goal. Like we have to move in the same direction, right?
Yeah. Oh no, I don't know. Maybe no. If we
Maybe
decide
not.
that we, I don't know.
Okay, here's a tool for goals. You can just use this one. We'll put a frame around it and use it for goals. Write them down. Simple.
But I mean, we defined the goals for Gimbal Labs, right? Not I'm sorry. I mean, we had I think couple of meetings or maybe one.
Not even. They started out as one thing and then they became something else. So
Okay.
you know, the original goal on it was what was it? To incentivize open source development. Something
no,
along
this
those
Gimbal.
lines.
No, I mean the Cardano for Climate goal. Like
Okay.
the first goal was how to inclusive, engaging community or something like that, right?
But see, that was an interpretation from one meeting from a Miro board. It wasn't very, it didn't feel very inclusive or.
So shall we have a meeting about that to decide the goals?
Okay,
and
can we
present it to
just
the community?
start with writing down goals specifically here?
We can, but I mean, the thing is that I'm trying to think, except of us four here, how many people then, because the question, if we want to keep it between a few limited number of people, if we want the community, that's also a question, by the way.
So the other thing
I
is
don't have an
that George and Newman showed up on Wednesday and they have a contribution to this as well. If we
Yeah.
decide the goals amongst the four of us, that's not inclusive. It
Not
doesn't
before,
give
but
an,
we can decide a new meeting to have a goal. It's not now.
no,
I
we
mean,
don't
but I'm
have to have
trying.
a, what we can also do is say, here's where you write your goals on the Miro board. And then
Okay.
in 1 week's time, if you have time, because there's this async thing going on, if you have time, join us together and we'll come up together with an idea on what our goal
Yeah,
is.
I didn't say not together, of course.
Yeah.
So let's do it. Okay, so just a timeline. So the first thing to do is basically use the space in the Miro for the goals, right? For this week, for the goals, to write your goals, and we will discuss it. So number 2 is.
So Miro, you had your hand up. I'm sorry that we keep jumping to something else.
No problem. I will just share screen quick. Because I understand this wish or idea, that people will come and how to motivate people. But look, you have 5 attendees, 3, 5, 7, 6, 1, 2, 2. You have 3. I mean, this is monthly events. Weekly meetings, you have 9, 8, 5, 9, 3, 5, 7, 4 breakout rooms, 4, 6, 4, 4, 4, 5. So this is actually numbers.
It's
It's
very
good that
easy math, isn't it? Yes.
yeah.
Unless you start considering all the other invisible stuff that goes on. The core,
Yes, yes,
the
of course.
meetings to determine the meeting, the uploading the video, the communicating on Telegram, sharing this event,
Yes,
writing
exactly.
up the meetup. So there's more to
Contacting the speakers, following up on the
Contact-
speakers,
And-
right?
Yeah.
Having the calls with the speakers. I mean, there's a lot of things going on, right?
So
Guys,
what I
guys,
see
I just want to say that this what Andrew done is connected to proposal
Mhm.
for Cardano for Cardano for Climate proposal. I know that actually Cardano for Climate have so much many people behind everything. It's not question about that. But the idea is you can use these numbers. You can play with these
Absolutely.
numbers. And then you can say, okay, we received almost 1 million gimbal tokens, and how we will separate everything. How much Bruno will receive for attendees? Abe, how much he will receive? And you just do the math, and that's it.
So
Yeah, but this is one experiment,
it
right?
is an experiment, and it's an extreme experiment that says that this is how we can simplify how to build up the community. And it's a math perspective. Absolutely. It makes it simple. Let's get it done. Boom, 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 put it out. What I'm looking at is what motivates people within our community to contribute.
But Melanie,
But hang on a second. I care about gimbals. Like I love Gimbal
Yeah.
Labs and what they're going to be used for. Don't get me wrong on this right off the bat. But what I value is not necessarily getting gimbals or ADA for my work. I may value something entirely different than what you do because of my perspective and where I come from. I may want people to show up at a meeting so that I'm not there by myself.
For example, if you will say on next meeting, everybody will receive 100 ADA if they show up on a core meeting, what do you think? How much people will come?
And why are they motivated to come?
This is, some people will come because they want to be part of something. Some people will come because they will receive 100 ADA. Some people will come because just, I don't know, they doesn't have time for, this is
And some people won't show up
yes,
because
exactly.
there's a reward for showing up.
Yes,
So
yes.
there's some people that will just say, look, you're starting to reward people showing up. I'm here because of a different reason. So
Okay,
we could actually create a problem. So if we give a person the choice to choose whether they get a gimbal or not for attending, we need to give the person the choice. We may say, okay, here's a community token. Here's something else that I have to offer that if you show up, I'm going to trade this for you. We put things in a box when
Look,
we
Melanie,
say that everybody will feel
I
part of this
understand.
community if they get gimbals.
I
There's
understand.
people in this, there's also people in the community that have no idea what Gimbal Labs is yet. They have no idea what a gimbal is.
Yes, okay. But look, for example, this, you see, here is Andre, here is Miroslav. Then again, Andre, Miro. Miro, Andre. So Andre and Miro have agreement that we are not receive anything, from Cardano for Climate, because We are here to help. We want to help.
You're
Cardano.
here for a different reason, aren't you?
Yes, exactly. And
Yeah.
we are, Andre and Miro are okay that we are not receiving anything. This is only calculation, and you can play with this calculation how you want, you know. But some people will attend this meeting. Okay, I will receive 20 ADA, or I don't know, 100 gimbal tokens. This is also okay.
So
No.
what happens when the gimbals run out?
We have almost 1 million gimbals.
So, but what happens?
We must add
What-
only time frame. If this is time frame, this proposal is 3 months time
It
frame.
won't, how do we make it sustainable? How do we,
yeah.
how do we actually
We don't
How
know
do
yet,
we-
Melanie, but
build
Yeah,
up
I
the
mean,
goal
No,
of
just
the
add
community?
value. Just add value. Just add time frame, and we will see how things is going on.
we choose a certain percentage, right? We don't use everything. It's the same process that James started, right? You choose a certain percentage to try to experience. Yes, Simon, please go for it.
All right. So yeah, I think that distributing the tokens in this way, the reason for that would not be to incentivize people to join necessarily, but more because I think like if you make the calculations and you could calculate how much is a gimbal worth by saying, all right, the whole economy, all gimbals are worth like $1 million, let's say. Or let's say they're worth $5 million because, well, we're still at the beginning, right? There's no real product or anything, nothing that gives it real value except for the community and also, maybe future price predictions. Let's say it's worth $1 million. We know there's 1 billion token, so 1,000 gimbals would be worth 1 ADA. Oh, so sorry, not dollars, but of course we gotta calculate this ADA. Yeah, so if we and let's say even it's 10 million overall, that would be, I think, a very generous number to give for the whole ecosystem, for the whole of gimbals. Then we would not get a number that is sufficient to incentivize people to join the meeting. Like the highest we could go would be like 10 ADA with $10 million in worth of 10 million ADA worth of gimbals. So yeah, I think that the reason why we do this is not to incentivize people, but more to distribute it to the wider community. So the wider community can also, when the services are ready, they can also participate in it.
Yeah. So I mean, first of all, I will say something before. Sorry, you finished, or Simon?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So first of all, I say it's not true that you don't get anything when you come to a meeting. I get a lot when I come to a meeting, and this is why I'm doing it, right? So let's start with that. Then we get a lot internally. We get a lot, a lot of things that you build. In this case, also where I don't know, doing proof of concept for your models. I mean, we all get a lot from that, and we enjoy it, right? It's not only monetary, but we get a lot in many different layers, and that's why we are doing it, right? And we get a purpose in life. We get whatever we get, right? So the gimbals, I mean, again, we are getting into an experiment, and as Simon just said, I mean, first of all, they don't have any value. I mean, it's not that economical value. I mean, even if you can start calculating and say, okay, it's 5 ADA or 2 ADA or 3 ADA, but I mean, again, for now, for most people, it's not that. I think that it can have different type of values. It can have a value. Hey, I participated, right? I came 100 times. I came to all the meetings. I participated in all the meetings. This way, so it can give you recognition. It can give you many things that we don't even know. So my point here is, what's the process we need to do? I'm trying, because we just been 3.5 months in discussions and course, which was mind-blowing with all of you guys. So what's the process we need to do to start figuring out what we need to do and start experimenting, right? And maybe that's kind of what I think we should do now, if it makes sense. And part of it can be trying what an experiment, what Miro said, and part of it can be different type of experience and kind of be the trust fruit concept. So I kind of try to define here, and I'm happy to get feedback on that. Suggest a timeline of what we need to do based on what we said. Use the space in the Miro to write your goals, that we can promote it to everyone. Discuss the goals next week, maybe Friday in the meeting, and decide key goals. Present it the following week in C4C meetings to present the model and goals and ask people to, to kind of have a flow, decide on a flow that we agree on, and then start somehow implementing that. I don't know if it makes sense to everyone, but yeah, sorry. Finished.
Miro, go ahead.
Yes, Yoram, I think that you're doing, guys. You meet each other every week, 2, 3, 4 times. You're already doing things. Don't forget that.
Yeah, and we'll continue to do it, right?
Yes,
but
exactly.
I agree with you. And
why not just what are you doing? Just, gimbal tokens will go with this, what are you doing? And that's it.
And that's one experiment that can be. I think that potentially can be one experiment, and I like it a lot. And we can decide again, not now, and we need to discuss it and discuss the goals and have the proposal, but we can then decide that 2% of the treasury that we have will go for that.
Yoram,
or 5% or whatever.
Do you have some issues that you receive ADA and gimbal tokens? Do you have issues?
No, I don't have any issues, but as Melanie said, we cannot decide the 4 of us now here, right?
That's good, man.
So we need to put a process in place.
So one thing I want to
right.
say though, is that when I meet with you, the 3 of you, completely different meeting than what I have with Newman and George. So this is another element of our group. It's not the 4 of us, and it's not this dynamics that's going on. We are trying to figure out what to do before we're figuring out why we're doing it. And this is where we're ending up with a whole bunch of different ideas. And this is part of the process, but we're jumping ahead. So we need to figure out why we're doing this and come up with an idea. Then the what lines up with the why. If we want to just use up the gimbals in 4 weeks' time as the why, like get this done, then that's one process. If somebody wants to make this sustainable and incentivize something else within our community, that's a different why. And the way we go about that is different. We could also have different whys within our own little experiments, right? Climate change is a failure in cooperation. Using the resources that we have and grabbing them for ourselves, this is a failure. We cannot fail and keep doing that sort of system. So we need to allow each of us to have an idea and to work with some sort of these resources. Simon and Yoram.
Yes, I mean, I think right now we have the Timber Labs meeting, right? So I think we should be able to make decisions here in the meeting, even when not everyone is here. So, and I mean, I would like to include everyone, but we also have to make progress. So we got to find some kind of middle ground, of course. Yeah, I mean, that's really just what I wanted to say. Also, like, just in contrast to wanting to include everyone, and I think that is a good goal, but it might not be perfectly achievable.
Yeah. So I say something like this. Again, I'm trying to simplify things. We all agree we need to agree on the why. Okay. So what do we need to do? We now open the Miro space for the why. Everyone can write the why. We announce for next week. Everyone can fill this week whatever why they want. And next week meeting, we are going to discuss the why and decide on the key whys. Is that a fair action item that agreed by everyone? It's inclusive, everyone will get the information, everyone can participate, and within 1 week, hopefully, we will have a base of a why. Does that make sense? I don't hear you, Melanie.
We have to make up deadlines and we have to communicate this to the whole group.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
is an important part of the admin of this whole experiment. So why are we doing this experiment? By our next meeting.
22nd, by 22nd of April.
By April 22.
People can say the why, and then we have a discussion about the why. I think it's fair enough, right? And then we decide the why. It's not the why for all our life. It's the why that we decide now.
Discussed
and then there is fun to change it. So that's my suggestion. And I want to say two things. And I need to go now because we have in 1 hour we're invited. We have the Jewish Passover tonight.
Okay, Easter.
So
yeah.
and Easter, the Christian Easter for us is the Passover tonight. We're invited with a lot of other people. And I'm sorry I was a little bit impatient today. I'm just preparing for that and getting ready for that.
So
And
let's leave our timeline alone for now. We don't have a timeline at this point. We don't know how we're going to allocate the gimbals yet. Let's figure out our why. I'm going to put this in the Telegram chat, the Discord. This is our homework to do, and we're going to determine a community goal by next week. Are we going to include anybody else in this in the meantime, like Wednesday meetup, core team meetup?
My recommendation, yes. That's my recommendation.
So
to present
by
it on the
the
Wednesday meeting as well.
We are cutting off the goal or the why. That's finished, and then we move forward from there. Okay, good.
Exactly, and then next week we'll make another goal for the following week.
Those will be goals. Those will be goals. Like our goal this week.
Not goals. I mean another target for the following week.
Okay, this is one of our goals.
The goal. Yeah.
One of our goals is to get the why done by the 22nd.
For next week.
Start with that.
Exactly.
Imagine things.
And then
put crazy ideas on the Miro board. Run with it. Be free to do what you want to do.
Exactly. So I think that's a very concrete one. And then next week we will decide another objective for the following week. Okay. And that's the next objective will be to different types of experiment, probably, if we're able to get there.
Okay, good.
So I was a little bit impatient and cut some of you.
That's okay.
Simon,
I'm going to do
Miro,
some admin.
Melanie.
I'm going to do some admin, add the goal to the board, share this. If you guys want to share that, I have to upload the recording and finish my day and move on with my day too. So play with the Miro board if you want to a little bit longer, and then we can go with this. Okay. Next meeting is core team meeting on Tuesday, and Miro meetup on Wednesday, the breakout room. If you guys want to join that, that's a really excellent time to talk. The other thing, those recordings are all here. If you want to go back and listen in on what other people are saying, I will put the recording of this meeting here. And yeah, okay. All right.
Thank you very much, Melanie. Thank you very much for managing this Miro board. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, and it's hard when people come in partway through. This is a real difficult place to be in, starting to form something. Other people come in with different ideas and want to kind of rearrange everything and start something else. I want to have that freedom for everybody to be able to do that. Miro, I'm going to add the document that you shared in that directory because I think it's absolutely incredibly valuable. And I don't want to downplay that. That's a really important thing. But if I jump on just your project, I'm going to miss out on what I really feel like I need to do in this experiment. So we are going to
No,
do
but
both.
we need to define the goals. I mean,
Yeah.
defining the goals, it's a key that we all agree upon. I mean, that's
Yoram,
100%.
maybe we didn't understand each other. This is the concept how Treasury will pay people who is in the Cardano for climate. This is the concept. Just please watch this concept because you must get paid eventually.
No, I
Tomorrow-
understand, but here you need to think that we might want to think in completely crazy things. For example, we
Yeah.
say, you know what, you are new to the community, get 100 gimbals because you are new, and now you can start using it within the community. We might want to think completely different, right? And it might make sense also. I mean, so I understand what you say, and it might be probably be part of the experiment, right?
It will be
decide that
part of
some
the
percent-
experiment.
It will be part of the
Guaranteed, it will
experiment.
be.
So and perfect for the job, excellent, really. But parallel to that, we might want to try completely other things that are
From
out
a
of the
different
box, that people will
perspective.
come with ideas,
Mhm.
and we'll see what will happen, right? I mean,
It
we
could
might
be
want
chaos.
to give a lot of gimbals to build the Cardano house now. We'll see what will happen if we do that.
Yeah. What I envision that will happen is that we have a very strong, thriving community after this. Whatever experiment we
Yeah.
do, we have more
But
engagement.
that's a goal.
That's a goal, but that's what I see. My why is this coming out is that our community grows from this experiment. And that we
Yeah, so for me, that was already in mind. When
Yeah.
it started to come today, for me, it already was decided. But we said, okay, not decided yet. Let's have another week.
see, and that's the piece that we're going to connect on in this why, right?
Yeah.
Until we start
100%.
digging down into what's important to us, what we value, what we want to see happen with this community, because that's what it's all about, is Cardano for Climate community. And it's diverse, huge amounts of different perspectives. We've got accountants, we've got project managers, we got beekeepers, we've got mushroom farmers, we've got people that have no idea what crypto is all about, right up to techies, you know, and Simon and gamers. So it's not like the technical group that's all related to writing code. We're big.
Diverse. So in my mind, this goal was already kind of set, but so I'm taking a step back. Let's have this week, decide on the goals, open it to the community,
why.
have this discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Discuss
that's
the why.
the
So for-
why is different than a goal, because a goal right now is for us to get our why figured out by this week. And we're going to get that done.
Yeah,
A
no,
why
it's the goal.
is
Yeah,
a why is different.
it's the goal of for me, it's the goal of why we are doing it, right? I mean, that's kind of the goal of why we're here, why we are doing it. So
Mhm.
anyway,
And-
it's the
okay.
same mindset. But for me, it was already set, and okay, if we
Okay.
need another week to do it, let's do it.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I need to go.
Okay,
Have a
thanks.
great weekend,
Thanks
everyone.
for being here. Play with the
Yeah.
Miro board, you guys. Okay,
Bye bye.
do your stuff. Do what you love. Okay, bye.